All right, let's just get right into it. If you've been doing that whole 16-hour fast thing every single day, skipping breakfast, waiting to eat, and the scale just isn't moving, I've got good news. You're not the problem. Your biology is actually fighting back. See, we've all been told that daily fasting is the secret sauce for fat loss, but it turns out that might be the very thing that's putting the brakes on your progress.
Man, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly describes that feeling of frustration. You're putting in all this effort, you're dealing with the hunger, you're sticking to the plan, but behind the scenes, your body's just so clever. It adapts by slowing your metabolism down to match, which means you're just running in place. You're stuck.
So, the big question is, how do you get off this metabolic treadmill? Well, the answer isn't to just try and run harder every day. The real secret is to understand your body's own built-in timeline for burning fat, and that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so first up, we have to tackle why the most popular fasting method out there, the 16-8, can so often feel like a trap. There's a really powerful biological reason your fat loss just slams into a wall.
And look, this isn't just a theory. A major study in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal actually backs this up. What they found was that this kind of chronic, day-in, day-out restriction can completely backfire. It often leads to losing precious muscle instead of the actual body fat you're trying to get rid of.
And this all comes down to one core concept: adaptive thermogenesis. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's your body's ancient survival switch. When it senses a consistent food shortage, like, oh, we're doing this 16-hour thing every day now, it goes into low power mode. It slows everything down to conserve energy, which is the exact opposite of what you want for fat loss. All right, so if 16 hours is the stall zone, what happens when we decide to push past it? Let's actually take a little journey hour by hour to see what's really going on inside your body, because this is where we find the biological hacks. So here's our roadmap. We start at 12 hours in the neutral zone. We move through that 16-hour stall zone we just talked about, and then we push into the two most powerful phases: fat burning ignition at 24 hours, and the real game changer, the deep fat unlock at 36. So for the first 12 hours after you eat, you're in what we can call the neutral zone. Your body is just busy digesting your last meal, your insulin levels are high, and as long as insulin is in charge, it's basically impossible for your body to burn its own stored fat. It's a one-way street for energy storage. And this analogy is just perfect. During these first 12 hours or so, your body is just burning through the easy access fuel stored in your liver. It's called glycogen. It's like spending the easy cash you have right there in your wallet. It's convenient, but you haven't even thought about touching your savings account yet. And that savings account, that's your body fat. Now, let's see what happens next. Because once you push past that 16-hour wall, your body has this, well, it's kind of like a biological panic moment that works completely in your favor. This is where we unlock some seriously incredible hormonal advantages. Right around this time, the easy access fuel, that glycogen, is basically running on empty. The cash in the wallet is gone. Your body realizes it needs a new fuel source, and it needs it fast. This triggers a powerful hormonal cascade that is designed for survival, and, as it turns out, for some epic fat burning. And get ready for this. You are not going to believe this number. Research from Intermountain Health found that at the 24-hour mark, something called Human Growth Hormone, HGH, can skyrocket by up to 2,000%. I'm not kidding. That is not a typo. It's a massive, massive surge. So why does that even matter? Well, HGH is basically a bodyguard for your muscles. It throws up this protective force field around your lean tissue and shouts at your body, hey, do not touch the muscle. Burn the fat for fuel instead. This is how we avoid the muscle loss that's so common with that daily fasting grind. So, going back to our metaphor, the easy cash in your wallet is all gone. At 24 hours, your body is finally forced to say, all right, fine, and it walks over and opens up the refrigerator. It starts tapping into your easily accessible stored body fat for energy. We are officially in fat-burning mode now. But wait, because it gets even better. If the 24-hour mark is like opening the fridge, the 36-hour mark, well, that's where we find the hidden treasure. This is the absolute champion window for targeting the most stubborn, hard-to-lose fat. I mean, just look at this incredible hormonal cocktail that gets released. At 36 hours, your body floods your system with stuff like adrenaline, which literally travels to stubborn fat areas and unlocks them to be used as fuel.
At the same time, this other hormone called adiponectin surges, making your body way more sensitive to insulin and screaming at it to burn even more fat.
And here it is, the ultimate payoff. The 36-hour fast is what finally gives your body permission to go out into the garage and break into that deep freezer. It's accessing the stubborn, deep-seated fat stores that most other diets and shorter fasts, they just can't touch.
Okay, the science is really clear. But how do you actually use this information without crashing your metabolism? The key is to avoid making this a chronic daily grind. You have to pulse it.
I love this quote. It explains the strategy perfectly. Think about it. You can't go to the gym and lift weights 24/7 without rest and expect to get stronger, right? It's the same thing here. You need the intense stimulus of the fast, but it's the recovery, the feasting, that's just as crucial for building a stronger metabolism. And here is the simple, powerful game plan. 5 days a week, you just eat. Eat normally, no restrictions. Then you pick 2 days that aren't back-to-back, and you push for that 24 to 36-hour window. This rhythm keeps your metabolism guessing, and more importantly, keeps it fired up. Your body never thinks there's a famine. It just thinks you had a couple of off days.
So in the end, where does all this lead? It's about a total shift. You go from being a sugar burner, always hungry, kind of tired, dependent on that next meal, to becoming a metabolically flexible fat burner with stable energy and incredible mental clarity. It's all about working with your biology instead of constantly fighting against it. So the real question is, are you ready to finally get off that slowing treadmill and start pulsing your way to a completely new metabolism?